plaintiff, Jasmine Beverly, dated the defendant, and she claims their relationship was toxic. Jasmine claims once while dating, the defendant punched her and knocked her teeth loose, so she filed a restraining order against him. Jasmine's suing her ex today for child support. Defendant Vernon Cockrell admits he was young and dumb when he dated Jasmine, and he had a lot of growing up to do. But he insists Jasmine was violent too, and would often throw things at him.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Hi, Judge Mathis. How are you?
Hello.
I've been on the show before, probably 2015, suing my oldest son's father for child support.
Don't nobody pay you, huh? Go ahead, though. All right, you must have plenty of money and they know it. You look like you got plenty of money. Like you got a good job. You present yourself well. That's why they say, well, she don't get no money from me. She making plenty of money. But that's not how it should be looked at. So go right ahead. Last time, what happened?
I won my case.
Oh, good.
I had my ducks in a row, thank God. With this, I've known Mr. Vernon Cockrell for quite some time. We probably met in 2007, 2008. I believe we started dating in 2009. When we started dating, we became chaotic together. We were toxic together. We were domestic together. We would fight. We would argue.
Is that after moving in or even before moving in together?
As soon as we started dating, probably 90 days in, we moved in together.
Yeah, you all didn't know each other. Mm-hmm.
Well, we felt like we did because of our...
You don't know how it is spending the night, every night.
Yeah.
And being there all day and coming home from work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but us arguing, sometimes we would, you get out or I'll leave. But when he left, he would be petty. He would take whatever he bought. Like if I told him to leave, if he bought the TV, he would take the TV.
What, we all like 15 or something? That's who does that.
I'm in my 30s now, so probably good early 20s,
okay.
mid-20s. We did a good 7 years.
That's some teenage stuff.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So we would fight. When we got into a fight one time, I hit him. He hauled off and hit me, knocked 3 of my teeth loose. I ended up getting a restraining order. He ended up going, I think he was on probation, but I stuck beside him through all of that. Fast forward, probably 2010, I ended up getting pregnant. 2011, we had our son. The whole time we was arguing, we was fighting. I had gotten into a real bad car accident.
Like how often? Every week?
It would be a lot. We fought a lot. It would be a lot.
It would be a lot.
It was a lot.
It would.
When I got pregnant with our son, we had an argument that day. We ended up getting into a real bad car accident to the point where he totaled his car and I almost lost our son.
And you all were arguing?
In the car, yes, sir. We were arguing. Yes.
Go ahead.
I think we were just young.
Okay.
Just young, trying to figure ourselves out.
He might like a nip or two every now and then. Y'all drinking and fighting?
It was weed. We would smoke weed.
Okay.
Go to work.
Take care of you out. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You don't make nobody fight.
I'm just saying.
It's the opposite.
That
That's
must be
the
a brand I haven't tried.
Yeah, we ain't had that brand. Yeah.
So, like I said, we had our son.
Some indigo bring you down. Messing with that, what, sativa or whatever it is? Go ahead.
When I had our son in 2011, I had him early. We tried to stick it out a little bit. We just went our separate ways. 2014, by this time, I'm by myself, he's by himself. 2015, I ended up getting a new guy that I was dating at the time. We got pregnant. And this young man had showed up to our son's football game and tried to fight him. So I had got a restraining order.
Had he come to the football game typically?
He when it comes to supporting like stuff as far as our son, he's always going to be there. But he's very territorial. If he's there, should nobody else be there? And at that time, the guy that I was dating was my ride.
A man want another man over his son.
Yeah.
And that's not right. You should support your man who's supporting the mother of your child and supporting your child.
Okay.
Because any man that's with your son is of some type of support to both your son and his mother. Go ahead, you give me some background.
With that situation, it was more about me disrespecting her in the relationship and all the stuff I took her through. So it was like more of, we would have to talk, nobody come to these games that we having for our kid. Nobody come. Like, I mean, for us, just us, that was it. Like, for us, relationship-wise, no girlfriend, no boyfriend, no none of that. So as I'm talking to her, he intervened, like, and laughing. Ain't nothing funny, because I'm out here with my child.
All right.
No.
I'm
just saying, that's because it took me back to that. No, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Judge. It was like, I'm out here.
Ain't nothing funny.
Like, and then we at church. They had just prayed for me and everything.
Do nothing to me. Ain't nothing funny. You know what he said? Ain't nothing funny. It
just was more respected of her, of what I've done to her in a relationship, and that's why I reacted like that. Like, we had agreement about that.
Yeah, I'd have to give a little thought to it before I could determine what I might feel, how I might feel if I'm there coming to the game to support my son. What you got to bring your boyfriend there, but because he supports the son also. That's why. So, and you ain't even paid your child support. You ain't even paid for the son. You ain't even paid his expenses. So how you gonna tell me who can come? This man is paying your bills. He's the one putting food on your son's table. He's the one that's helping to buy your son clothes. He's the one that's helping to pay the rent. And then you got nerve enough talking about he can't come to the game. No, I'm not gonna condemn that because I haven't thought long enough about it. I'm not in that position, so I'm not gonna condemn how you feel about that. Okay. I was just bringing out the other side.
Okay, all right.
And so just be mindful of that.
He intervened, like, and laughing. Ain't nothing funny, because I'm out here with my child.
All right.
No. I'm just saying, that's because it took me back to that. No, I'm sorry, Judge. And then we at church. They had just prayed for me and everything.
Do nothing to me. Ain't nothing funny.
Plaintiff Jasmine Beverly dated the defendant, and she claims while together, he punched her in the face and knocked her teeth loose. So she filed a restraining order against him.
People need to know, people who are listening, who are hearing this, and they're about to start dating in their 20s. What can they do what were you all doing to have to argue so often?
It was more of us being young. It was about being young and me needing to grow up as a man. And like I said, we was like 22, 23 years old. And it's like, when as I then got older, I then looked back on that relationship with her, and I have learned a lot from that relationship.
So, have you been engaged in any other violence?
No.
You're a violent guy? Where you from?
Cincinnati, Ohio. But it was more me growing up. And
how'd you grow up? Hard or violence? A lot of violence in your life or around you?
No, I was just saying, as far as us dating, like I said, that's where I learned to grow up.
Yeah, but a person is violent for a reason, because people can not get along, and teenagers and young people date all the time and don't engage in that. So we need to look into what the violence was about. Who would start the fights all the time?
It would depend. Sometimes I put my hands on him.
Okay.
My mouth, me nagging, because his time wouldn't add up, Judge. The time wouldn't add up, so my nagging.
He would fight you then?
Him, depending on what happened. I'm not an angel. I don't remember everything that I've done, but I know
nothing happened. He was ready.
I know I didn't went upside his head a couple times.
Catch up bottles, shoes, lamps, everything.
Yeah, he remembered.
Flying across the room.
From her?
Yeah, from
to you.
Yeah.
Well, I better be talking to you. Where you from?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, but I relocated to Houston.
Oh, that's the problem. Down there in the 5th Ward. Or which one?
All of them. All of them.
You with them hoods and
but I did come from a domestic childhood. It's no excuse, but I did come from that. As far as I know,
that's part of it. That's not an excuse. That's an understanding.
Yes,
that's what I'm looking for.
But I believe, as far as his upbringing, he mainly was he worked a lot. He went to school. He worked a lot.
No, but as a child though,
that's what I'm saying. As a child, he started. I'm talking about Vernon. Vernon started working probably 14 at Kroger's, so he worked a lot. He was always at work. He was in the streets a little bit, here and there, but he was always at work. He worked. He even stopped going to school to work. So, yeah, he works. He works. I will say that. He works his behind off, literally. And
so you witnessed a lot of domestic abuse.
Yes.
So you did the same thing. Now it's clear. And somebody has heard you.
Yes.
And they said, oh, that's why I jump on my man all the time. because I witnessed it all my life as a child. Now I understand. I think I need to go and get some counseling so that I can address what's in the back of my mind and causing me to engage in domestic violence.
Yes.
That's why we talk about those
Yes,
type
sir.
of things. And he's come to the games and otherwise had a presence in your son's life?
When we were dating, he was perfect. Once we split, I don't know what happened, but he turned into birthdays, holidays, or if I call him. Now, I'm not the type of woman that calls a man and asks him
Chase
for
him
something
down.
unless I really, really need it. And if I really, really need you, I expect you to be there. So that's where a lot of our confusion or misunderstandings come in. The one time that I ask him and he's not there, that's a problem for me because I do it so much. I have 3 kids. I'm a single mother of 3 kids. So I feel like when I come to you, I don't care if it's midnight. If I'm asking you for something for our son, I feel like he should do it. I don't care what he has going on. So that's where the issue is, and that's pretty much how we winded up here today. Anytime that I feel like I ask you for something and you can't do
Yeah, but
it.
the way you talk, though, that's probably part of it.
And
You don't talk right to people.
Who, me?
You talk disrespectfully to your men,
I'm
and
sorry.
don't she?
yeah, very. And it's like,
Tell, I can tell.
I'm very aggressive.
and it's like,
Look, I don't care what you're doing. Drop it now.
and that's what we.
Do you understand? Say you understand. I understand. All right, then. That's how
Your
she
Honor,
talk to you. Go ahead.
she know I'm not gonna let that go. It's like I'm not, and then like I said, I'm gonna be there for my son, been there for my son, and she had 2 other kids I've been there for. So it's 3 of them I've been there for. So it's like when I can't do it right then and there. I can't. It's not that I'm not trying to.
She doesn't seem very flexible, so I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna listen to you no more. You're too demanding. And that baby don't need nothing at 1 in the morning. The baby sleep. So what the baby? If I call you and need something at midnight, no, that's you needing something at midnight. The baby don't need it until 8 in the morning when he wake up.
So it's like more. That's where our thing is like more. I can't do it when you want me to do it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be there. I've been there. My son's 10 years old.
We all drinking and fighting.
It was weed. We would smoke weed,
Okay.
go to work,
Ain't you
take
feel
care.
you out, yeah.
I'm just
You
saying.
don't make nobody fight.
I'm just
It's the
saying.
opposite.
That
That's
must
the
be a brand
truth.
I haven't tried.
Yeah, we ain't had that brand. Yeah.
Plaintiff Jasmine Beverly dated the defendant, and she claims while together, he punched her in the face and knocked her teeth loose. So she filed a restraining order against him.
Tell me about the child support you're suing about.
Well,
What years? What's the pattern of payment over the years? Tell me what happened after the breakup with regard to child support.
I ended up finally filing a child support order on him. At first, he was giving me money here and there when he got paid, because he keeps a job, 2 of them sometimes. Every Friday, he'd make sure he'd give me a couple dollars here and there. Well, if he didn't like how I talked, or if he was having a bad day, he would take that out on, I felt like, me and the child, because I would get no money. So that's where the child support came into par. Before I put him on child support, he would give me money, so I put him on the child support. And it's just like, you know, if
It's the
I feel
Mathis
like if he
meter.
feels like it or if he wants to or whatever, that he'll make a payment. He just, since the COVID got lifted, he just recently got cited in August.
What?
Well, subpoenaed, cited, I don't really know
Subpoenaed.
the correct term. He had to go to court and
Child support.
yes, sir, and they were able to get his information. So right now I am getting some type of money every week from him as far as I'm taking it
But
out
it
of
has
his
an
check.
arrearage of how much?
Yeah, it's like $6,000.
Do you have any document there?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, why don't you tell me your child support issues?
I don't have no problem with paying.
She
it.
said a lot of good things, but you do have a problem with paying if you got arrearage. What page is the arrearage?
It's
Now
on
you
page
talking
2
crazy.
for the arrearage. And then the first page 1 is the actual order for the
Okay,
month.
$273.
Yes.
And yeah, sir, you're $6,000 behind. And the only thing I hear good about this is that you were paying, however sporadically.
Now, I will send her money. Like, okay, now something like she done moved to Texas. So I didn't put the money on the child support, but I'm sending you the money. So when I pulled up when I go to child support, they don't have no record of that. Like, I'm not paying child support.
There you go.
Even though they say it's a gift, it's my fault, but that's my child. This is in Texas, she called, this is my baby mama calling me, saying what they need. So here you go. I want to send that money to you. But that's not going to child support, but that fall back on me.
I say this all the time, and that's why you should be watching my show.
I watch it.
Well, you should have heard me say to the young men who have children with ladies they're no longer involved with and they need to provide for their child, go through child support services so that you can establish a record. You go child support services with the mother or however you petition, and they'll calculate based on your income what you owe. They've said $273 a month is what they have calculated you should pay, and that's the amount you give. And when she comes and says he hasn't paid, there's paperwork to show that you have. Because otherwise, unless you take it through the court or through child support services, when you pay them out of your pocket and then there's no record of that, one, you might not be paying the amount that you would be required to pay. Two, you can say, I ain't get nothing. You didn't give me nothing. You come out with your $500 receipt, your $200 receipt. That was a gift.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Those are gifts, Your Honor.
Yeah.
No, he didn't pay the child support. Oh, there's a gift, sir. Nope, go all the way back. Baby is 10. Yeah, thanks for the gifts for the first 10 years. Good gifts, nice gifts. How much? Okay, fine. 10 years worth of gifts. Now, let's get to the 10 years worth of child support. You owe $6,000. Everything else was a gift. That's why when you go through the courts, and you can also pay through the court with child support services or have it deducted from your check. I'm not saying garnished. Those are two different things. You get garnished before? He's never been garnished for child support?
I thought that's what they were doing now.
Yeah,
But you went to court and gave them all your information because you don't voluntarily do that. So you had to give them all your information.
They take 25% out of your check. Yeah, you're being garnished then. And see, it wouldn't be 25% had you not been in arrearage. Typically, child support is about 3 to 5% of your income per child. And the more children you have, the more it might level off. A person with 6 children might be paying 2% per child. A person with 1 child might be paying 6% of their income. So that's why it's up to the judge or the child support services to determine the amount based on a specific calculation. They say, how much you make? I make $1,000 a month. Okay, 5% of $1,000 a month is $50. Then that's what you would pay, $50 a month. Sometimes the ladies might say, well, I need more than $50 a month, and you only make $1,000. Okay, here goes $150. Well, you're paying triple that you might have been required to because you didn't go through the court. So let them tell you how much to pay, and then go with that. Don't try to do your own math. If you got 5 other kids, then you're definitely not going to pay the same amount. All right? So just for you young men listening, go through child support services when you're paying. Otherwise, when she turn on you and she get to court and you bringing out all those receipts, Your Honor, I've been giving her every year. You all proud. I've been giving her money. See this, see that. I don't know nothing about it, Your Honor. I don't know nothing about it.
It's a gift.
You don't know nothing about it? No. I've been giving you money every... No, you ain't. You gave me a thing. I don't know where them receipts come from, Your Honor. Them receipts are for another woman. For his other kid. That $500 receipt from Macy's, no. That didn't get to me. That was from one of his. So that's... To avoid all that, begin When that child is born, go right down to Child Support Services, tell them to please calculate the amount of child support you should be paying every month. Who fight you then?
Depending on what happened. I'm not an angel. I don't remember everything that I've done, but I know.
Nothing happened, he read.
I know I didn't went upside his head a couple times.
Catch up bottles, shoes, lamps, everything.
Yeah, he remembered.
Flying across the room.
Plaintiff Jasmine Beverly dated the defendant, and she claims while together, he punched her in the face and knocked her teeth loose. So she filed a restraining order against him.
And what do you say to this? You do owe? All right, you are behind. And what I did like her saying is that you work 2-3 jobs sometimes. However, how far does your skill level go? Because if you planned and went forward with a career, then your income would probably be higher. So you wouldn't have to work 2 jobs. How far did you go after high school and preparing for a career?
I mean, I finished high school, but that don't have nothing to do with how I work, because I feel like no matter how I work, I don't still need more money.
I guess you're not understanding. What I'm saying is the better preparation, the more money you receive from the job.
Yeah.
So you would make more with more preparation. When I say preparation, it's skilled trade, college, junior college, some paperwork that will cause you to receive more money because you have a specialized skill. That's what I'm referring to. Whatever you might have, you might have a job, it might pay you 30, 40, 50,000 perhaps even. Well, that job goes away and you have no transferable skill. Then you're back down to the $20,000 a year jobs. If you get something that is a career, then you'll be a little more stable and you can go from job site to job site around the same amount of money. That's what I always suggest. Get some paperwork so that you'll have a specific skill that can transfer from one company to another company. All right, 5,000 is your judgment. Y'all want to get back together?
He got a whole bunch of women in his life.
Well, he gonna get rid of them for you.
He ain't do it when we was together.
He is now.
We're gonna pray about it.
We're gonna pray about it.
I'm the witness.
Pray and marry.
Yeah.
All in one.
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop. You heard it, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, take it for what it is. You heard it.
Yes, sir.
You got a little chance. All right. Love doctor. Stop calling me Love Judge. How about that? Love Judge. That's his new show, Love Judge. Okay. Just before the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you. Call your son for me. Just call him. Start calling him and talking to him.
I got you.
Every day, please and thank you.
Okay. As soon as I get done, I call him.
Yes, please.
As soon as I go outside, I call him. Just I won't start paying my child support and everything will be okay with us. That's about it.
Thank you.
Plaintiff Helene Herrera never knew her dad, but 2 months after she started dating the defendant, she discovered he may be her father. So Helene petitioned the court for a paternity test to see if her now ex-boyfriend is actually her dad. Defendant Robert Medina admits he was in and out of prison his entire life because he was raised around violence and drugs. Robert admits he got a woman pregnant years ago and has no idea where the child is, but he hopes the DNA test proves Helene is not his daughter.
All right, and we're here today for a paternity test to determine if you all are father and daughter?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, start with you.
Well, it all started basically my aunt. She raised me my entire life. I never had my mom or dad. And my mom would make phone calls, to my aunt here and there. And my dad, I would ask questions about him, ask about him, how he looked. And all they said, he was always in and out of prison. He was, just a bad guy. It's just the person like, oh, don't worry about it. He's never gonna be in your life. So just leave it as it is. Like, you don't have to ask no more questions. And I would ask my aunt as well, my mom, and they would just give me the same
What age?
response. Well, when I was staying with my aunt, it was ever since like I was like 12 years old.
That's when you start asking?
Yeah, I started asking at that age.
Plaintiff Helene Herrera petitioned the court for a paternity test because after she started dating the defendant, she discovered he may be her long-lost biological father.
In 12 to 18, what was it like for you, not knowing your dad?
It was difficult, you know, because like I always wondered, I was like, who is he? How does he look like? Like, why do you guys always mention like he's always like in and out of prison? And I just thought, okay, you know, it came to the point where they're never gonna like tell me. They're never gonna.
Yeah, you should have said, do they have visitation hours?
Yeah, but
no, but seriously, what happened after adulthood?
I just ended up moving on. Like I never really
You
bothered.
didn't try and find him on your own? Or,
yeah,
I see
mean,
a lot of people do that now. They go on Facebook, Ancestry, all type of things.
No, yeah, I mean, I did. I would go on Facebook and, you know, look him up, but nothing really popped up that caught my attention. Mm-hmm. So, and I didn't know how he looked like either, so it was,
right,
you know, difficult. So it came to the point where I just let it be. I was like, you know, it is what it is. I can't do much about it. And I would still like ask questions, but they would just give me the same response, you know, which is, don't worry about it. Like, he's already probably long gone.
Did you ever say, I want to see him anyway?
Yeah, I did mention it, and it just didn't matter to them, you know? It just gave me the same response, even when I would speak to...
I'm trying to get my arms around this, because if you were at risk at being psychologically damaged or traumatized, God forbid physical damage, up until a certain age, I don't know what age, but say for example, and I have a friend who deals with this, they were raising you in the right way. In this case, your mom might be hooked on something. Mm-hmm. And so they want to drop in and out of the kid's life when you've raised the kids with a very structured life. They're excelling, they're mentally adjusted, they understand that granddad is raising us by himself, and mom, we're not sure. All we know is we love this environment we're in, and we are progressing, and we feel all the love. And then mom started dropping in at age 4, once every 8 months, looking drugged out. Tell me, can I take him? Can we go somewhere? I don't know what I'd do, because this person calls me and asks for advice about what to do. Yeah. I tell them, say no. If you love them that much, go to rehab. If you want to see them that bad, go to rehab. You can see them all the time. I had a similar situation where I raised a child because their parent was in and out of drugs. And I'd give the child back. Here, you can have your child back, as long as she's safe and you got her in safe living conditions. Mess up, go check, mess up. Okay, gotta get her. Let you go clean yourself up. Clean yourself up again, and give her back. 30, 90 days. Okay, I see the conditions. She gotta go until you come back clean. So those are the type of decisions I made with the scenarios I've been faced with, and that's the advice I've given with those scenarios. Don't know if it's right or wrong, but I know the children are happy. So I don't know. What do you think of that, based on what I just said? Do you think it would have been smart for you as a 8-year-old or 12, I think you said it. You're doing fine in life. Everything's fine. You never known your father. You find out he's in prison, and perhaps he still has the same destructive mindset. And so no telling what that might equal when you come to visit. Could be risky. Yeah. Particularly if you don't know whether he's changed his life.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to give your parents a pass for not being more aggressive about putting you with your dad. That's why I'm saying all of this and using the examples that I always do, use examples that I have experience with, and I think that has given me some wisdom I should pass on. People say, why you always bring it back to you? Why it always has to end up with you? Because I have some examples and some wisdom I think you all can benefit from. That's why I tell you about my life experience.
Plaintiff Helene Herrera petitioned the court for a paternity test because after she started dating the defendant, she discovered he may be her long-lost biological father.
Have you ever been resentful toward your mom or your aunt, rather?
Honestly, Your Honor, at first I would say like with my aunt, I would like give her attitude. I would like, be aggressive to her because she wouldn't let me speak to my mom as well. Like, let's say when my mom would call, she would at times, like, I would hear her say, oh, no, she's at her friend's house. She's not here at the moment. And that's, she would click, and I would rather be like, oh, who was that? And she was like, oh, it was your mom. But don't worry about it. She's, my mom was, like, hooked up on drugs. Mm-hmm. I guess, most of my life, I can say. And, I never understood as a child. I did like have aggressive, with my mom and not knowing my father, and I always thought like, okay, you guys just don't want to tell me, you guys just are hiding stuff from me. But as I was growing older, I understood more from my aunt's side. I understood why she would like keep me away from, not keep me away, but she would just do the right, way to keep me away from my mom.
And that caused a little
resentment? Like it made me like hate her in a way, but I grew older and I was like, you know what? I understand now. Like, I understand why you did what you did, and honestly, I thank you for it.
We went through the same thing, a lot of resentment.
Yeah.
It seems like you're taking somebody from their parent, and you're the reason I don't see my parent, or you're the reason I don't live with my parent, so I don't like you.
Yeah.
When you don't live with your parent, because the last time you lived with your parent, I got a call from the police that a child was running under gunfire. So, hate me all you want, but you're gonna grow up well-adjusted and successful. So, you gotta take that hate for the bigger purpose.
Exactly.
Dislike me if you want, but you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be safe and dislike me. All right, so you give me some background, sir.
How you doing, Your Honor? Since '92, I've been in and out of prison. I just kept on going back. That was my lifestyle. But right now, it's been 2 years, as long as I've been out.
Okay. How did that become your lifestyle?
Just the way I was raised. You know what I mean?
Raised to do what?
Raised on drugs, raised in violence, just a criminal background.
In your community, where you come from?
Yeah.
Tell us more. People want to know how folks get involved in an entire life of crime, which is what you're saying, and go back and forth since '92, and the last time was 2 years ago. People want to know about that. Everybody doesn't know. And I'm thinking it's because you, as you said, you came up in a drug and crime-infested neighborhood, and you didn't have many options.
Yeah.
Because the options were either be a victim or a predator, folks. Those are your options. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
You go in the hood, the deepest part of the hood, and walk around trying to be a straight-up guy. See how that work out. You get robbed every day. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
That's why we need to hear what your experience was. Were you forced to get in a gang? Were you from California? Were you East LA? Talk to me.
Fontana, but I was never in a gang, Your Honor.
Fontana?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just ran by myself, you know what I mean? Just protected myself out there in the streets.
All right. Right. The pressure was out there.
Yeah.
You were either prey or predator.
Yeah.
You were a predator?
No, I just protected myself.
So you were going to prison for gun violence?
Violence, yeah.
Okay.
Fights, assaults.
Okay. That's better than anyone going for armed robbery?
No, nothing like that.
Thank
Drugs.
You didn't victimize innocent people.
No.
All right. And you came out 2 years ago. What you been doing with yourself since then?
Trying to look for work, but it's kind of hard right now.
Yeah, how many convictions
my background.
do you have?
Excuse me?
How many convictions do you have? Over 3?
Convictions?
Over 5?
I got like probably over 30. Maybe more than that.
All right, you're gonna have to go into business for yourself. I'm sorry. I don't mean you're gonna have to
Hire yourself.
Yeah, you had to hire yourself. You're gonna have to start out, Doc, by yourself.
Yeah.
But it may be a blessing because you may become a very successful, highly paid businessman because nobody will hire you.
Plaintiff Helene Herrera petitioned the court for a paternity test because after she started dating the defendant, she discovered he may be her long-lost biological father.
I went to college, one of the reasons because the Army rejected me. Army rejected me.
Yeah.
They say you have a fresh felony. But college did accept me.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do because I had no other options, college or back to the streets.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, you don't have any other options, back to the street or start your own little small business, painting, whatever, janitorial.
Yeah.
At the Mathis Center in previous years, we put 22 ex-offenders into janitorial franchises. We had to pay $5,000 on their behalf. They gave them all the equipment, and then they even gave them leads, the business. They did the leads for them, go check with this and there. They need janitorial work. So just put your mind there.
Okay.
And if I can get you a tool that costs less than $1,000 for you to use and go into business for yourself, I will. All right? How about that?
Awesome.
Appreciate that.
I'm gonna give you a chance.
Thank you.
I'm 32 convictions.
Not enough
That's a
lawyers.
little much. All right. And tell me about your association or knowledge of your presumed daughter.
Well, in 94, the girl I was seeing came to see me when I was in jail. And
Who did?
I thought it was her mom or her mom.
Okay, got it.
You know what I mean? She came to see me, the girl I was dating, and she picked up her shirt to show me her stomach, saying she was pregnant. And the guards there shut down the visit, threw her out, said she was flashing her boobs at me. I was trying to explain to them what she was doing, what she was saying. They didn't want to hear it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can run the whole prison crazy. All right. Go start a riot. Go ahead. Uprising. I like that word better. Go ahead.
And then they banned her from the jail and everything.
And you never heard anything else
Never
from
heard
the
anything.
woman?
I got out and I went to where she was staying. She moved. Nobody knew nothing. I've asked around, and I didn't know the little girl's name.
How'd you all come together then? She say she didn't research you on Facebook. How did she discover you?
I went to my cousin's house, and she was there visiting. And then we just kicked it off, you know what I mean?
What do you mean kicked it off?
Like, I'm Robert, you know what I mean? Like, just friends.
And,
Yeah.
and she knew that was her dad's name, Robert?
No.
So why are you telling her your name? Something's missing.
We got introduced to each other as friends.
All right.
We got introduced as friends.
Okay, and so you just see her from time to time.
Yeah, and then we
as
just
your
started
friend.
talking.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, we started talking. We started dating, and then
Dating?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's a first from 23 seasons. And that's a first.
Yeah.
All right. This thing is taking a little turn, a shocking turn. Let's see how things work out.
Tune in tomorrow when Judge Mathis reveals the results of today's paternity test.